The Battle of Gallipoli, also known as the Gallipoli Campaign, was one of the most grueling and significant battles during World War I. It was fought between the Allied forces, primarily British, French, Australian, and New Zealand troops, ANZAC, and the Ottoman Empire led by Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, who would later become the founder of modern Turkey. The battle took place on the Gallipoli Peninsula, a strategic landmass in present-day Turkey. This area overlooked the Dardanelles Strait, a narrow waterway connecting the Aegean Sea to the Sea of Marmara and eventually the Black Sea. The Allies aimed to seize control of the Dardanelles to open a supply route to Russia, knock the Ottoman Empire out of the war, and divert German forces by opening a new front. However, the operation quickly became one of the most infamous examples of poor planning and execution in military history. The Allied forces, commanded by General Sir Ian Hamilton, consisted of British, French, and Commonwealth forces, including significant contributions from Australian and New Zealand Army Corps, ANZAC troops. Hamilton struggled to adapt to the difficult terrain and underestimated the Ottoman resistance. The defenders, led by Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, played a pivotal role in rallying Ottoman forces and repelling the Allied landings, supported by German military advisors. The campaign began with a naval assault in February 1915. Allied warships attempted to force their way through the heavily fortified Dardanelles, but suffered significant losses from mines and artillery, halting their advance. In April 1915, the Allies launched a massive land invasion, hoping to capture key positions on the peninsula. They landed at Cape Helles on the southern tip and Anzac Cove further up the western coast. Despite initial progress, the Allied troops faced steep and rocky terrain, fierce Ottoman resistance, and increasing exhaustion and disease as the summer heat worsened conditions. The battle turned into a brutal stalemate, with both sides suffering heavy casualties in trench warfare reminiscent of the Western Front. The battlefield saw heavy artillery bombardments intended to weaken Ottoman defenses, but these often failed to break through enemy lines. Naval power was brought in with battleships and destroyers providing offshore support, though many were sunk by mines and coastal batteries. The infantry, armed with rifles and bayonets, often engaged in close-quarters combat. On the Ottoman side, machine guns positioned on high ground caused devastating losses during Allied advances. Trenches and barbed wire slowed down Allied troops, making them vulnerable to gunfire. The Ottomans utilized their understanding of the terrain through snipers and guerrilla tactics to harass the invading forces. The Battle of Gallipoli ended in a disastrous defeat for the Allies, with nearly 500,000 casualties on both sides. The campaign ultimately failed, and Allied forces were forced to withdraw by January 1916. For the Allies, it shattered morale and exposed major flaws in leadership and planning, having a particularly devastating impact on Australia and New Zealand. For the Ottoman Empire, it boosted confidence and prolonged their involvement in the war, while elevating Mustafa Kemal Atatürk's status as a national hero. The legacy of the Battle of Gallipoli remains a poignant reminder of the horrors of war, symbolizing overambition, underestimation, and the resilience of determined defenders.